to This Is My Bourbon Podcast, or should I say today, This Is My Whiskey Mutant Podcast. Yes, don't fix your headphones, don't punch your speakers, don't restart whatever you're listening or watching. It is just me today because our captain, our leader, our sweet prince, the John Mayer of Whiskey Podcast, is taking a break this week. He's on vacation with his family. I can't tell you where he's at, but I'll give you a hint. It's somewhere cold, because apparently there's a Ritter tradition that when a child becomes somewhat of age, Perry has a child, she's getting a little older. She's a couple of years old now. She's 3, I believe, about to turn 3. That's horrible of me to be the adopted uncle and not know exactly how old she is. But she's old enough to do the Ritter family tradition. This past weekend, we had our meetup, and I got to talk to Papa Ritter, and he's really excited about the tradition because apparently there's a Ritter tradition to where you go up in a very cold, snowy place, and you do your first snowboard trip. Yes, it's a snowboard trip. There's a lot of obstacles and stuff like that. You only have to do it once. I know you've probably never seen Perry snowboard before, but he only had to do it once to stay in the Ritter family. So good luck to Eden. She is going to be doing the Ritter family tradition snowboard trip. If she makes it through all the obstacles without scoring something less than like 50, she stays in the family. So far, I know Perry, Sarah, and Dane have all passed. There is Ronald Ritter. You may have not heard of him as much, but unfortunately his score was too low and he wasn't allowed to be part of the Ritter family. I'm sure he's doing just fine. But yeah, good luck, Eden, to your Ritter family snowboard tradition. That's 100% true, I promise. But yes, things are going to look a little different this month. If you're a returning listener, thank you for coming back. Yes, it's just me. This is your first time joining This Is My Bourbon Podcast. There's usually 2 of us. Perry and me are usually both here, but this is vacation month. Perry is currently on vacation, and then I will be going on vacation later in the month. We're going to try to get as much stuff done as we can, but you may see some shorter episodes like this, or you may see maybe a break for the week. But we promise everything will be back to normal probably in a month or 2. But, we need breaks. You guys are vultures. You're wanting reviews. You're wanting snacks poured all over everybody. I mean, we just don't have that many arms. I mean, we have 2. We have 4 if you put us together. It was like Goro. But we're doing the best we can. But we appreciate all you guys for listening, supporting. If you want to go support the show and get bonus content, which is not going to stop this month, you can go to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. You can support the show. You don't have to give your dollar to like the guy who's waiting on a tip who honestly just poured your coffee in a cup. You can give it to us. We'll put it to good use. At $5 a month, you get all the bonus content I was just talking about. You get Pours from the Floor. You get Sampling Irresistible. You get uncut episodes. This past week, we even had a bonus 5-minute episode of me doing stand-up. I literally bombed half the time, but, it's on there. Talk about my friend Warren, who is alive and well. You can find more about that on this past week's Patreon content. But the live show with Peggy was on there first before anybody got a chance to do that. I'd say we will probably recap the weekend/live show probably next week or the next time we record together. So I'm going to save all that for later. If you want to get some merch and apparel, it's bourbonshop.threadless.com. Perry's got some designs up there. I think there was actually a sale that started, so go check that out. If you want some Whiskey Mutant merch, which, did I even introduce myself? I'm the Whiskey Mutant. I'm Eric. I'm usually the co-host, but now I'm the host. I am the captain now. But yeah, you can get some Whiskey Mutant merch at whiskeymutant.myshopify.com. We have a barrel ring segment that I'm going to try to make it work this week. It's a voicemail system. You call 859-428-8253. Is that pretty good? Yeah. You call that number, leave a voicemail. We'll play you on the episode. You'll be part of the show, and then we'll reply back to you. We really appreciate those. If you want to send us an email or a message, send an email to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. Any suggestions, anything you want us to pair, you can do that. We currently have a single barrel out at Lawrenceburg Bourbon Company gift shop. This is one we picked for the weekend. They're going to be selling in the gift shop. I'll put it right there if you're watching, if it will focus. Focus. There it is. If you want to, Patreon has already got their chance at this. But if you want to get a bottle and you're not in Kentucky, look for us on the Facebook group. This is My Bourbon Podcast Facebook group. Answer some questions. We'll let you in there, and we'll probably be posting some of the bottles that we have left. We sold quite a bit at the meetup, and they're selling out in the gift shop. So look for that there. What am I forgetting? Follow us on all social media at My Bourbon Pod. You can follow the show. You can follow Perry at PRitter1792. He's not going to tell you where he's at on vacation. I promise. Don't DM him. You can follow me at WhiskeyMutant. I just put out a new reel because as of recording, it's National Donut Day, and you know I ain't going to miss that. So go check that out and just tell everybody about us. We appreciate that. So how we do things, usually at the top of the show, we talk about what we've been drinking. And I haven't been drinking much. I'm telling you, when you hold a meetup or a live show or a big event and you drink on and off for several days, you need a break. And so I honestly haven't had anything for, I don't even know. I want to say since I had a little bit Sunday. We went out for lunch, and I had a Stag Junior pick from Goodfellas. It was really good. But I guess I would call that the dingleberry of the dog, or whatever that saying is that they say when you kind of need a little bit to get you through the day. I had that, and since then, I have not had any whiskey other than on the Patreon content from last night. So I am fresh, and my palate is ready to go. And I say we get into something while I talk about everything else. What have you been drinking? Perry, what have you been drinking? What are you drinking while you edit this right now? Since Perry's on vacation, I thought I would do a little what WhiskeyMutant drinks when he's on vacation. Now, we'll get to a real pairing in a little bit, okay? We'll get to that later. But I got to have a little cocktail, okay? I have a little beach cocktail, and it's called Warren's Margarita. It's going to be Wild Turkey 101 and Mountain Dew. I love this thing. I know some people, I invented it, whatever. I've been drinking this since I was like a child. I mean, the Mountain Dew part. So basically, you get a big cup of ice, pour you a big thing of wild turkey in there. Sorry about the table noise. Perry's going to kill me on that. And you just put some Mountain Dew in there. I'm using Diet Mountain Dew because I'm trying to watch my calorie intake. And this, I usually put it in a big Yeti cup like this, and I just have it on the beach all day. But I wanted y'all to see the color. It doesn't really change the color that much. It still looks like Mountain Dew. And on the nose, it's just Mountain Dew and bourbon. Oh, you can really hear it fizzing right there, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, but this is a great summer cocktail. I know I always say Coke Zero and bourbon is the best. Yes, year-round. I only drink this when it starts getting hot outside and I'm on the beach. I don't know why. I don't feel too bad until I finally do, if that makes any sense. A little history fact for you. You may or may not know this. Mountain Dew was actually invented to mix with whiskey. Apparently, Tennessee's whiskey sucked back in the day before it got good. And they made Mountain Dew to mix with whiskey. Mountain maybe they were bootlegging the whiskey and it was really bad, which also leads into how bootlegging whiskey turned into Fast and the Furious. The mob and people would modify their cars and they would have races to outrun the cops and to get barrels and everything away. And they did this. And apparently, I know George Remus was a big bootlegger, but Vin Diesel's Damas and his family were actually the first bootleggers to make it. And it was all about family then. So thank you, Mountain Dew, and thank you, Vin Diesel, for everything you've done for bourbon. Another segment we usually do when, if we don't have any samples to get into, we do a sips and snacks. And I have some snacks left over from the live show the weekend that some of y'all didn't eat that I thought would pair so good with, with our single barrel from Lawrenceburg Bourbon Company. Got the bottle right here. I actually have a little sample that I had poured up, so I'm going to do that. And the snack is a honey bun. I think when we were picking this barrel, we were eating pinwheels. But today, we are going to pair this with a honey bun. Now, when I first tasted this when we were doing the pick, which you can go back and listen to, this thing reminded me of, it was like a banana split. There was so much flavor in there. There was like red colors, yellow, bananas, chocolate, all this stuff. And I thought this is like a good like base to like put like, if you put like a banana split, but you put like a honey bun on the bottom. Doesn't that sound so good? Sorry about that. Oh man, this thing is, you all got to get one of these. This is 4 years and 7 months. Kentucky bourbon, mash bill, 70% corn, 21% rye, 9% malted barley. Once again, it's Lawrenceburg Bourbon Company here in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Classic honey bun. Honestly, the honey bun, it's got the grooves in there. If you can see it on camera, if you're watching, that would just soak up the whiskey. Like, this is going to be great. Oh my God. Why are honey buns so good? Can somebody tell me? What is the cream on top of them? Is that what makes it good? All right, let's do a little pour over here. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it's like a banana split with maybe you added some honey on there, like, you know, you have all the drizzles and stuff, but you added like a layer of honey. Oh, it's so good. One more because I'm hungry. Sorry for the noises. Oh, wow, that is so good. Oh my gosh. Where do we go from here? So since I'm taking over this episode, I thought I would bring back the news. But I'm not really going to go through all the bourbon news because I honestly don't have it pulled up. And as you may know, we like to talk about other stuff sometimes. It's just not all about bourbon. I know this is my bourbon podcast, but let's see what's going around the world everywhere else. I will touch right up on top about some bourbon news. Apparently somebody on Facebook is complaining about secondary prices. What's new? Somebody on Facebook is also ISO of Blanton's. What's new? There is a, let me pull it up on my phone here. Sorry, I can't pull it up on the screen. I'm not that good at this yet. There is a new release coming out that I will talk about just for a little bit. This is from Blue Run Spirits. It's called the Double Oak Single Barrel. Experiencing the art of double aging. In celebration of Father's Day, we asked 10 whiskey aficionados from our community to provide tasting notes for the upcoming Blue Run Double Oak Single Barrel release. Each of the 10 unique barrels unveil layers of rich, sophisticated oak and a symphony of complexity. These had just dropped, actually. But I know some of these people. I'm not going to go through everybody's name. I know Dad's Drinking Bourbon did tasting notes for one. That dude Ryan. A couple other people. So these are single barrel double oaked releases from Blue Run. I have nothing against Blue Run. I actually like a lot of their stuff. But I can't afford a $200 Blue Run single barrel. I don't know all the details, the ages and stuff on this. I'm assuming it's around the same age and stuff. I have nothing against them putting that price. I'm just saying, as a father with 3 kids, that money, I don't have it. I just don't have it. And I wouldn't expect my wife to get me that for Father's Day because I could put it to good use. But I'm all about getting some samples. If anybody gets one of those and want to share a sample, feel free. But I don't know, man. What do y'all think? I mean, Blue Run has great stuff. Jim Rutledge was contracted to distill for them. I know they're looking to open a huge distillery that looks amazing. That's all. I love it. I love that. I just can't afford a Father's Day single barrel that's $200. So that's your whiskey release news. Over in the pop culture world, Han Solo versus Indiana Jones. Who wins? Harrison Ford says, "Why are you asking me that crap?" So, in a recent interview, apparently somebody asked him who would win, and this is from IGN.com. The most common thing fans ask Harrison Ford, according to him, is whether Han Solo or Indiana Jones would win in a fight. In a recent interview, he puts the debate to rest. "I don't want to fucking make shit up like that. I mean, what are you asking me that crap for?" So, if you run into Harrison Ford, please don't ask him that. I do appreciate the fact that he started off saying shit and then he ended with crap. But yeah, apparently that's going on. Also, Blockbuster has clapped back at Netflix over their recent policy of charging for sharing passwords. Now, do I share my Netflix password with anybody? I think we have a family plan. But apparently now you will be charged if you share your Netflix password. I don't know how much, whatever. But Blockbuster wrote, "A friendly reminder that when you used to rent videos from us, we didn't care who you shared it with, as long as you returned it on time." And they added Netflix, so they got Netflix's attention on that. I've yet to see a reply from Netflix, but I'll be waiting. The thing they say, though, they said, as long as you returned it on time. They don't care if you shared it, but they wouldn't let you share the late fee. How many of us had late fees, whether it's Blockbuster or any rental store? You just had a ton of late fees going on. And even though I didn't cause all the late fees, it was still under my name. So why couldn't I go there and share the late fees with whoever I shared the video with? Somebody, I'm going to at Blockbuster that right now. Let's see, what else is going on? If you're watching sports, the Nuggets are up 1-0 at the moment on the Heat. I feel like if I started trying to talk sports talk with you guys right now, I would be the guy back in the day on Edom's World that was just going, and he passes and he goes, and boom goes the dynamite. That's how I feel right now if I try to start talking sports. But yeah, that's a little news from around the world. Honestly, not around the world. There was probably nothing from any other country other than right here in the USA. Now, when I started thinking about this episode about 5 minutes ago, I thought, I got to put a review in here. We've got some bottles waiting to review together, but I thought I would review something that I had never had until this weekend that, fortunately, we were gifted to keep. And some of you had this in the tasting with Peggy Noe Stevens. We're about 2 weeks out, so it's been a little bit. But she let us keep this bottle, and it's Journeyman Distillery. And this is called Corsets, Whips, and Whiskey. I mean, it's a provocative little bottle here. It's 117 proof. This is from Journeyman Distillery in Three Oaks. It's MI. I'm going to be honest. I'm blanking right now on where MI is. Somebody, you know what? I'm just going to make this right. I'm just going to figure it out myself. MI, abbreviation state. That's Michigan. I almost said Missouri. I apologize. Shout out Michigan. While I'm at it, I need to formally apologize to several people. So, a couple of weeks ago, after the meetup ended on Friday, I decided to start trying to call a bunch of people, and it was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. So, if you're listening, I apologize to the Bourbon Junkies. I apologize to Matt Porter. I apologize to Grease and Will. I apologize to... No, I don't apologize to My Daily Bourbon. He sucks. Who else do I apologize to? I don't think... Did I call anybody else? The Shelf Turds. I apologize to them because you may have got a call or a Facebook call from me at a random hour, and that's uncalled for. But you know what? That's just what happens sometimes. Anyway, back to the review. If you're joining us for the first time, the review system goes like this. There's 4 categories. We score each category 1 to 5, 5 the best, 1 the least. Then we add them all up, best out of 20, or not best out of 20, but a total out of 20. The categories are nose, palate, finish, and price. I will have to look up the price when we get to there. But here we go. Journeyman Distillery, Corsets, Whips, and Whiskey. And that lady dancing on there is just doing something to me right now. You see her? If you're watching on YouTube, look at that. Yeah, look at that thing. Now, when Perry is with us, he has all the, he's got a good vocabulary. I found out recently I have a very bad vocabulary, and I'm not chalking. See, look at that. I'm not talking about bad words. I'm literally talking about I can't talk very well. So this may be the simplest or the most mutant review you'll ever hear. But on the nose, man, this thing is like buttered cornbread. It does have, I don't know the age of this. Let's see. I don't know. It does smell like on that youthful note, but it's like a good corn. It's like a good grain. But actually, is this wheated? Yes. Yes, there's no corn in this. This is 100% wheat whiskey, folks. We're off to a great start, but it does smell like cornbread. I'm not going to lie. It smells like it's very corny to me, but it's like a cornbread, like a sweet corn. A lot of wheat whiskeys are sweet, of course. So this is very cornbready like on the nose. It turns into like if like a Twizzler had caramel on it. It's like a red vine and caramel candy, like maybe like a swirl. Like, ooh, what are those one things? Perry loves them. They're like cream savers. It's like that. It's like a Twizzler and caramel cream saver. The finish is almost perfect. I will say I think I love the finish more than anything. It's 117 proof, and it hits right in the back of the tongue, and then I can feel it almost down to the bottom of my chest. And it's a real, dare I say, smooth, a real smooth finish. It's not really burning. I just feel it. I just know it's there. It's comforting. It's smooth. I love the finish on this. Going back on the nose, it's almost turning into like a burnt cornbread. Like the edges are a little burnt. Like you got it out of like the skillet and it's just a little burnt. But man, the palate is a little flat. And I know I get caramel and cream savor, caramel and red vines or Twizzlers and like a cream savor, but I think I get more of that when it's starting to finish. But the finish, that's where it hits. Give me just a second. I'm going to look up the price on this. God, it won a lot of awards. Ooh, it was a category winner in the Ascot Awards. Whoever does that, Best Wheat Whiskey. Best in Show Whiskey of the Year 2022 Ascot Awards. Who does the Ascot Awards? A lot of Ascot Awards. America's Wheat Whiskey for a minute. Who is that guy? Anyway. Everything that's pulling up, it looks like it's about a $60 to $65 bottle. So, yeah, so we'll judge this on, or rate this on it being $60. I'm seeing a couple. $68, $69, $56. Either way, let's say $60 today. Once again, nose, palate, finish, price, 1 through 5. On the nose, Whiskey Mutant. Yes, I'm talking to myself now. What do you give this on the nose? I give this a 3.5. I think it's I'm going to start adding this up. I think it's a great nose. I think it could stick out a little bit. I wish it was a little less youthful smelling. But all in all, it's a pretty good nose, I would say. Palate is probably a 3. Some of the interesting notes I get on the nose, I don't quite get on the palate. It's just a little. I don't start getting a lot of notes until it starts hitting the finish. So I'll give it a 3. The finish though is a 4 for me. I love a good finish. I love a good money shot. It's what you wait for. I mean, you scrub through the stuff to get to the finish, and that's just what you do. So I just tend to love something that has a great finish, and that finish to me starts at the back of the tongue. I know that's probably, in a technical term, the palate still, but once it hits the back of the tongue, that's when I start feeling the finish. I start thinking like, oh, here it comes. And this thing hits like it's way older. I don't know how old this is. Somebody's punching the screen right now at me. But 4 on the finish. And price, honestly, cool looking bottle. Yeah, it does something to me on the label there for sure. 117 proof, great nose, great finish, pretty good palate. $60 with everything that we pay now. I'd give that probably a 3.5. So we have an 11 out of 20. That's pretty good. Pretty good. When you start seeing the 15s up to 20s, that's when you're like elite level on the rating scale. But this is better than 50%. Half of 20 is 10, and this made it 1 point over, 11 out of 20. I'll be curious to see what Perry thinks of this when he tries it again. But high proof hot takes. This is the segment of the show where we talk about something that we have a hot take about, and I'm gonna try not to get in trouble with this. So just scooch on down in your seat and listen to me for a second. I'm starting to come around to Perry's view of how he hates the term, if you know, you know. I kind of like to say it being funny, and lately I've only said it to piss off Perry, but I am getting tired of all these posts on social media. Whiskey, this is whiskey related. I'm bringing this back to bourbon. That somebody posts like a bottle or shares a story of a bottle that's got some random label that nobody's ever seen before. and it's something maybe like only like 4 people have put together, and they're just like, if you know, you know. Like, no, I don't know. You're supposed to share your whiskey with everybody. Give them a chance to get it. I know things are allocated. I get that. But like your personal like friend bottles that you get and you share them, like at least give me some information about it. It's just some, and I'm not picking at Rare Character because there's so many labels right now of Rare Character that like they're in different bottles and they have like black labels. I don't know anything about them. And somebody like posting is like, if you know, you know. I don't know. I want to know. Don't do that to me. Tell me. And then there's these bottles like, well, this group picked this and we changed the whole bottle, and if you know, you know. I want to know. I'm moseying around whiskey Instagram and whiskey Facebook and TikTok looking for stuff to try because right now I'm in a slump. I'm just going to admit it to you guys. I'm in a slump. I'm not really out there hunting. I just don't have the motivation to try to find all the new stuff. If there's a pick out that I like, that I know, like Elijah Craig, Russell's, Four Roses, I'm going to get it. But right now, I just don't have the motivation to get something new. And I don't have the money. It's vacation season, and I can't afford it. So whatever I spend my whiskey money on is going to be something I know is going to be good. So if somebody says something's good, but they say, if you know, you know, stop. Get some help. Or help me. Tell me about it. Give me a little note. Pairs well with this. Tastes like this. You can get it at this. Sorry, this is only for 5 people. That's my hot take. You know what, Perry, as you're listening to this and you edit it? I agree. If you know, you know sucks. So that's my high proof hot take this week. Took a lot out of me. I got to reset here. Tips and bits. This is the segment. I'm talking like everybody listening is new, and I don't know why I'm doing that. I feel like I'm not trying to make everybody sound dumb. I'm just hoping that maybe since the Peggy episode came in and you know it's on YouTube and all that, I'm hoping that there's some new listeners. And if you're new, you're not even getting the full team here. I'm literally by myself, but I'm hoping that you understand how the show goes and you have fun. So I'm sorry to the normal listeners. I'm not trying to make you sound dumb. I'm just trying to help any new listeners that may show up. But this is the tips and bits segment where we talk about stuff other than whiskey, but sometimes whiskey that's going on. Stuff we like to recommend, stuff we're playing, watching, reading, whatever. I've got a few things to go through. One of my favorite shows just concluded this season. It's the show Dave. It is the show about Little Dicky. Dave has just been phenomenal this season. I really think if you just turned it on right now, you probably would turn it off because all the episodes are kind of a different format and a different like art style and stuff like that. But go back, watch seasons 1 and 2, and then get into this new season of Dave. It's so good. The finale is like an A24 film. It's just so good. He's got some new songs in it that are great. I love it so much. Let's see, what else? I'm still currently playing Jedi Survivor. I'm hoping to get to Tears of the Kingdom, but I got to beat Jedi Survivor. I know Perry's playing Tears of the Kingdom right now and killing it. What else? Oh, Disney Plus. Disney Plus put out a new Muppet show, and it's called Muppets Mayhem. And it is the story of Electric Mayhem, you know, the Muppet in-house band, Dr. Teeth, and the Electric Mayhem. And this is like them in like the current time, and they're finally going to make a record. And I swear, I laughed and smiled and even cried so much through this because, for one, it's a Muppet show in like real life. Like the Muppets are doing their thing, and then, you know, there's real life actors and stuff in the show. And those are just some of my favorite things. Like, I don't know, like I guess growing up with the Muppets, like it's always nostalgic to me. It doesn't matter what it is. A Muppet show is just amazing. And this show did not disappoint. I highly recommend Muppets Mayhem. It will make you cry, especially if you're a fan of the Muppets. On anime, the anime side of things, the new season of Demon Slayer is almost over, and once again, I'm crying. If there's something about me that you all need to know, it's that it's I don't know why this thing keeps doing this. It's that I cry a lot. I cry a lot when I watch shows, especially cartoons, anime, Muppets, whatever. I just do. New season of Demon Slayer, great. If you've never watched Demon Slayer, I highly recommend going and watching that if you want to get on one of the newer animes. And then I recommend going back and watching the live episode that we just put out from the meetup. Peggy Noe Stevens joined us, and it turned out so much better than I could have expected. I was nervous, and I'll go into this more details later, but I was nervous. Especially when she started talking to me about stuff. I got a little scared. But yes, I said up top that we have a barrel ring segment, and I'm going to try to do this right now before I go into the home, where I lead everybody home. So, the barrel ring segment, 859-428-8253. We play your voicemail here. I'm going to try to play this voicemail and reply back to you. And we'll see if it works. I honestly don't know. Okay, do this.
What up, Doc?
Shit. I was trying to make the barrel rings work, and I guess I just called you. Perry is on the phone. I'm sorry if I interrupted anything. I don't know where you're at or what you're doing, but Perry, you're on the barrel ring segment. Go for it.
Hi, everybody. I'm driving to Florida right now. She was taking a nap, and now she's awake, and she looks really mad.
Oh, shit. You're on your way to the she's old enough to do the Ritter family tradition, isn't she? Just go with it.
Yes.
Yeah, she's going to pass. She's going to pass the test. She's still going to be part of the family by the end of the trip. I know she is.
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of born into it, but sure.
So, if you were going to call the show, Perry, and do the barrel rings,
yeah,
what would your barrel rings be?
Hold on, I gotta get in the mindset. Eric, what's up? I know you're going solo this week, but I just wanted to wish you well. Say thanks for all you do, and love you. Drink. Keep bourbon fun. That's it.
That's it. Keep bourbon fun. What were you listening to before I called you?
Yes.
Did she say F yes?
No, she said take a wild guess.
Take a wild guess. So the child was asleep before I woke her up.
Yeah, it was Dave Matthews. Lucy's being sarcastic.
I was gonna say Dance Gavin Dance because Lucy was. I was gonna just assume she was in control of the radio. So
the rule is whoever's driving's in control.
I wish that it was like that in my house. Anyway, Perry, be safe. I'm sorry I've messed the barrel rings. You will get a new barrel rings come next episode when Perry is back in control. But you know what? This is Mutant Takeover, and that's what you get. Bye, Perry. Be safe.
Bye, guys. Will do.
All right. Love you, brother. Okay, so I was trying to play a barrel rings that I thought I knew we had, and that's what happened. So yeah. I know there's a barrel rings from the live show. If you want to get some content that you didn't hear on all the main stuff, especially the live show and the meetup that we had, you want to know what we did behind the scenes, the stuff Perry couldn't put in the public eye or the public ear, go to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. you can support the show. And at $5, you get all the bonus content. Porch from the Floor, Sample Irresistible, uncut episodes, even some stand-up every once in a while. But yes, that's the best way to support the show. If you want to follow the show on all social media, you can follow the show at My Bourbon Pod. You can follow Perry at PRitter1792. You can follow me at WhiskeyMutant on all social media. If you want to send us an email or a message, send an email to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. If you want to get some merch from the show, bourbonshop.threadless.com. If you want to get some Whiskey Mutant merch, whiskeymutant.myshopify.com. If you want to do the barrel rings, that will probably work out better next time. Call 859-428-8253. We'll play you on here, and we'll reply back to you. Oh, God, Perry's going to kill me. We do have one new Patreon member before I take us home that I've just got to tell you about. Joining the Patreon, is it Patron? I don't even know. Have I ever said it right? 317 Bourbon. He's part of the Patreon now. He's supporting the show. Oh, 317. My God. It's about time. I mean, it's been a few years since I've talked to you. I mean, it was like back in the day when I first started on the podcast. I was traveling to Tampa to do the steak pairing, and I stopped in this random place in Georgia, and it was like I probably was running out of gas. I was being cheap, and I was just whatever, and it was like one of these, like, it was just a sign that says barbecue $1. And I was like, man, I'm starving. April's like, that's a bad idea. And I was like, you know what? I'll do what I want. I'm driving. I'm in control. And she's like, no, you're not. I was like, yes, I am. I'm in control. And she's like, I'm playing the music. And I'm like, yeah, you're in control. But I acted like I had to use the bathroom. Ooh, I just moved the camera. Everything's out. This is the part where Perry would probably say I'm losing control of the show. And on a level, I honestly understand what he means right now. Before, I'm like, oh, that's funny. But everything almost just fell apart, and I understand. I'm going to try to forget that because it's fun making him worry about that. But I don't like it when it's just myself. Anyway, me and 317 met in a random barbecue place in Georgia. Dollar Barbecue. Actually, they were like 50-cent barbecue that day. I don't know why. It was like the end of the week. They said they hadn't got a lot of new stuff in, and I was like, well, man, this is crazy. 50-cent barbecue. And I met this guy, and he was like, you got to get the 25-cent wings. I was like, okay. He looked really sus about it. And I was like, did you get the wings? And he was like, of course I got the wings. I put them all in my belly. They're already ate. And I was like, I don't see any sauce on your face or anything. He's like, I'm a clean guy. I got wipes in my pocket. It's like, okay. So I got the wings. They were actually really good until they weren't. And I turned around and I see 317 just leaving. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, he didn't even like wait. And it was at that moment that my belly started rumbling. And I probably pooped 317 times that day. My wife was mad. Everyone was mad. We never made it to Florida on time. I was late because I was pooping 317 times because he told me to eat the 25-cent wings at the Dollar Barbecue place. So I appreciate him joining the Patreon. And maybe he's making it up to me. Either way, thank you, 317 Bourbon, for being part of the Patreon. Please share, comment, subscribe, all the stuff you do. You hit the notifications. Go to YouTube. We put all the shows on there. Hopefully Perry can use this. I hope that the video's been working. I'm already off-centered from just a little bit ago. I don't know. But the live show's on there, so you can go see us pair with Peggy Noe Stevens. Tell people about us. Just share. Rate on Apple Podcasts. If you're not subscribed, maybe you just stumbled upon it and this is the first time and you're like, maybe I'll subscribe, maybe I won't. Please subscribe. Do it. You can leave a 5-star rating, a 1-star rating. We don't care. You can leave ratings on Spotify now, apparently. And that's it. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to drink the rest of my Warren margarita. That has been an episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm the Whiskey Mutant, and I'm going to leave you some words of advice from one of the most inspirational songwriters of our generation. Just do it all for the nookie.